So, what would you say are some of the common mistakes new investors make?
So I think for me, it's more about patience. New investors are not, or beginners are not patient. They don't know that real estate, or they don't maybe been taught properly to understand that real estate is a long-term game, and it's a numbers game, and therefore you need to be patient. You need to be able to understand what you're doing. They don't do that, and that's where the mistakes, majority of them, even the students I get in my class, majority of them, we had to unbundle their portfolio and start again because of those, they're not patient, they weren't patient. The second thing is they're not being themselves. They want to be somebody, right? Yeah, you want to be Robert Kiyosaki in 10 days time. Robert Kiyosaki has built this over 30 years. So you cannot compare yourself with Robert Kiyosaki, you cannot compare yourself with Warren Buffett, you cannot compare yourself, with even local guys. You cannot compare yourself with them because this thing takes time, right? And they want to do it now. And also, they're not minding their own business. In real estate, in business, you need to mind your own business. Yes, you need to understand what your competitors are doing, but you have to understand your strength and your weakness. And that's what I mean by minding your own business. And they don't take mentorship. And mentorship is key for development. So with right mentorship, you'll be able to, like what you're doing now, you'll be able to avoid a whole lot of mistakes that I made, right? You're still going to make your own mistakes, but at least you curve it. If I did it in 10 years, which we're sitting here, if I portfolio is sitting on 76 in 11 years, you probably can do it in 6 years or 4 years with my knowledge,
Okay.
right? And that's what young or beginner entrepreneurs don't have.
Okay. So, what is the best strategy for you when it comes to real estate investing?
So I wouldn't say best strategy, but I mind my own business. So my strategy, right? I mind my own business. So my strategy is basically in three folds, right? My before strategy. So when I'm going to buy a property, number one rule, because I've bent myself, my partner and I, Andile, we lost a lot of money when we started. Today it looks cool, but we've bent a lot of money. We've been tricked. People have taken our monies. So my number one rule, do not buy a property without stepping in that property. You might be in Cape Town and you might buy a property in Joburg, but find a local guy in Joburg to go and step in that property to see what's going on in that property, right? So that is my before. Why do you have to go check? You know what kind of renovations or maintenance that you have to do in the property. You will know whether there's an existing tenant or no existing tenant. If there's an existing tenant, what caliber of tenant are there? Are you going to apply for eviction or are you going to take over the existing lease? So if you do those things before, you'll be able to then, in future, make money from day one. Once we've gone through the before strategy, we have the during strategy. So we've bought the property. What are we going to do? What systems do we put in place to make sure that our tenants are happy? We strive to give personal experience. That is what we strive for. If I cannot sleep in that place, a tenant cannot sleep there. So I must see myself sleeping there. So that is the during. What systems? Water, prepaid water systems, electricity, prepaid electricity systems. Are you going to have a caretaker there? Who's going to clean the place on a weekly basis? Who's going to make sure that the tenants are happy? So those are the things that the during process. Now my exit, that's my after. Before, during, after. My after is my exit strategy, right? How am I going to exit this portfolio? Am I going to refinance it or am I going to sell it? Right? So it gets back to your goal when I said, are you going to buy and hold or are you going to buy and sell over a long-term period or are you going to buy and hold perpetually? Now, if I'm going to buy and hold, there's nothing like perpetually, but if I like the location and I want to hold for a very long time, pass it on to my kids, then my exit strategy will be the bank being my partner. Because, like I said, when I buy property, I look at 5 things, and among them, capital appreciation and being able to leverage to invest, right? So my capital appreciation, with time, the property value is going to go up, and I will be able to refinance that property from any financier and use the money to do bigger things, right? So that is my strategy when I invest in property. 3 basic strategy.